Yeah, we'll get your agent on the horn.
Is it your mama?
No. It's
Your
my
daddy?
I don't have a daddy, I have a dad.
So, welcome back, persons of quality, to yet another episode of Anglisten Assemble after a hiatus of... Has it been 2 years? How long has it been exactly?
Almost.
Almost 2 years. Things happen in people's lives. I started growing plants. I've got some lovely dahlias and coriander.
Yeah, I grew a beard.
Yeah, that takes focus and time and intention. And so we weren't able to record over these past couple of years. However, at least as far as the two, possibly three of us are concerned, we're now considering a more regular return to Anglisten Assemble. So that's kind of where we're picking up here today. At least the initial thought for talking today is going to be something along the lines of, well, what do we want to do with the podcast? I mean, we've done some basic things in the past. Leon, maybe you can catch us up. What are some of the episodes that we've done?
We talked to lecturers, we talked to organizations, we talked to tutors. We also just... I don't know if we released that.
The people out there don't know that we talked to tutors because we never released that episode.
Right.
That's kind of where we all kind of landed in the dumpster.
I mean, we also just talked to each other about other stuff and also didn't release that one.
Why did you edit for nothing?
Well, you haven't edited for nothing. The voice you're hearing now, maybe we should do a little roll call here. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Brian Rosema. Here with me, as always, is
me, Leon Delachelle. Hello.
There we go. And today we've got a special... guest, possibly permanent member of the Anglisten Assemble team in, what's your name?
Well, thank you very much for giving me such a great possibility. My name is Kate, and I am...
Kate, do you have a last name?
No.
I see.
Kate, no last name.
No. What?
Yeah, no, okay, fair. Some people like Cher or Madonna, they just don't have last names.
Exactly,
so
like
Zendaya.
great, amazing people don't have last
Deadpool.
names.
There are lots of
Captain
people.
Deadpool.
No.
For sure. There's lots of that going
No,
around.
like everyone here knows me as Kate. And I'm basically a celebrity. If I'm going to give you my official name, Ekaterina Lee, no one's going to tell who that is.
I see. And that's fair enough. So, yeah, that's who we are. We've got the famous Kate. We've got the infamous Leon. And we've got the sort of known Brian. And between the three of us, we kind of wanted to return to Anglisten Assemble because we feel like there's a lot more still to talk about as far as our department is concerned, but also just as far as, everyday things are concerned. So we have talked with lecturers in the past about their research. We have talked with the Lily Goes Mental group, for example, about the things that they do. But we're also going to be talking about just, what kind of shows we like to watch, or movies or books, or we figure a little spice mixed in with the academia might be nice. And I'm not talking about worm poop.
You know what the greatest thing about this is?
What's that?
I'm getting paid for that.
I'm not.
Right up here, Kate. I'm getting paid for this too. All right. Leon,
I
you got to
feel
talk
left
to your
out.
agent. Something's going on.
I'm having a quick phone call. One moment.
Yeah, we'll get your agent on the horn.
Is it your mama?
No. It's
Your
my dad.
daddy?
I don't have a daddy, I have a dad.
Wow. We're learning so much here today. Why don't we just throw in some sound effects?
Ooh.
And we should also mention maybe that we've kind of upped our technical game because
Yeah, I can see you now.
there's that.
in
I mean,
person.
it's not just Zoom anymore and people recording themselves on their own machines of various qualities into file types of various qualities and sizes.
Highest quality.
Yes, indeed. The ones that you can't send via email, which were super helpful, by the way. So what we're doing instead is the university has the media center, which you may have just heard the sound effect in the background of the media center's computer. So we're working out the kinks, as you can see. But they have a lovely setup up here. And the coolest thing is any student can get time up here and record their own, whatever it is they want to do. Presentations, podcasts, rap albums, concept albums, whatever it is they're doing.
I mean, you don't want to pay like 4,000 euros for a microphone. Just rent the room for 2 hours and use it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, which kind of says a lot about Leon and mine's brains, because it took Kate to figure out that we could be doing this. Kate, could you tell us a little bit about this process? Maybe that might be interesting to the folks out there.
Basically, at some point, I just wanted to do a recording or an interview for with the lecturers for my internationalization, and then at some point, I realized that we have so much things at the university that they can offer us for free. And it was in the Corona time, so I didn't manage to get access. And I always wanted to play with the podcast room, so I was like, "Hey, Brian, do you know that we have a podcast room?"
And my interest was piqued. I didn't even know about this as an employee. I knew we had a media lab, and media lab to me just sounds so general. And when then I heard podcasting room, what? I'm sorry? Run that by me again? I thought this is definitely something we have to look into. Now, I don't want to oversell this thing. I feel like I'm in a shoebox, but the shoebox has, a window and some padding on the walls to help with the acoustics. So there's that, but it also has these 3 spider legs with the microphones hanging out, which we can all use here free of charge. They look like they're expensive. I don't want to.
They are.
Yeah, I don't want to oversell it, and I also don't want to encourage thievery, but they do look expensive. As well as the setup, I feel a little bit like I'm in the Matrix because I got a couple of different monitors here.
And a squeaky chair.
Not as squeaky as my chair at home, interestingly.
I don't know if we actually have that in one of the episodes, but I also have one of those arms at home with my microphone, but it's super squeaky, extremely squeaky. But I don't know if it's ever on one of the episodes. But every time I move it, my neighbors can hear it.
Wow. So yeah, it sounds like you would have to spend a lot of money to get the same kind of quality of a podcast or recording anyway. Then you can get for free if you're a student here at the university. So folks, check it out. Kate,
for
where do we
free
go?
usage, not for free.
No, it's important. It's important that if you do something that it's for university, for credit points, or that is kind of connected to the university, because this is what gets prioritized. If it's something private, you still can get access to that, but it's not gonna be prioritized.
Okay, and who do I talk to? Where do I go?
Basically, you just write an email to geräteausleihe@unibielefeld.de, and there is a form that you need to fill out, but you can find it on their website. If you haven't gotten any introduction, you should get the introduction first, where they will explain to you how to use the entire thing. And yeah, basically that's it. And after that, you can use the podcast room through the entire time. And they have also really great rooms with computers and software to actually edit that. I mean, you can do it here, but if it's going to take longer, then you don't have to, occupy something that can be used for different purposes. So they have a, I don't know what's the name exactly, something after... post-edit or something room. I don't know what is the right name for that. Basically computers with software.
Nice. And just to make the contact info a little more, easily accessible, I just Googled Geräteausleihe Uni Bielefeld,
and then
and it comes right up.
No, you pick the second search, or maybe you just Google Geräteausleihe Medienräume.
There we go.
Yeah, click on that one.
And it's the second thing that pops up on a Google search. And you click on it, and, as the university servers tend to be a little slow, you wait
a little
for
bit.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Should we come
10.
back in 10
Yeah, I don't
minutes
know.
or-
I think it's going to be a minute. But yeah, it's the second link. You can get right into all of the stuff that you may or may not be wanting to record, and contacting the people who have the access and can grant you the access to it. Now, I've also done this in courses previously, where I've assigned people to record things.
Yep.
They needed my signature for something. They
Yes.
came back to me with a little sheet of paper to sign off that, yes, I was asking them to record things. So maybe that's to get the priority, or
Maybe, but I've never actually needed to sign someone. I would just give my name and say, okay, this is what I want to do. For example, for this time, I just put Anglisten Assemble podcast for Anglistic faculty, and that's it. I got the time slot. I mean, of course, in the beginning of the semester where people don't have to do any credit points, it's easier to get in. It is also possible to get access on the weekends. So whenever you feel like you want to do your work on the weekend, there is a higher chance that you can get in, and then you can spend your weekends here.
So yeah, nothing sounds more entertaining than spending your weekend at the university podcast room. So if you want to get in on that action, at least you have an idea how to do that.
I mean, but it is good to know, because in Anglistic we have the blessing in disguise that we can be creative, and we can do creative work for Studienleistung or module papers for certain ones. So if you ever want to dip your toes into recording a podcast or filming a video or whatever it is that you want to do, like, this is your chance of using one of those rooms for it, or borrowing a camera or like these microphones or something, and go for it, or go to the university radio if you start liking it even more. Like, this is a good way to experiment with this a bit.
Absolutely. So that's at least as far as the technical upgrade is concerned. We're also talking about different topics, ideas. We've already mentioned some that we've done in the past, and now we're kind of, spinning some threads into the future.
Brainstorming.
Brainstorming, if you so will. What are some of the brainstorming concepts we've come up with so far?
Well, we had a lot of time to think, like 2 years almost.
Well, yeah, I know that over those 2 years I've done nothing but think about podcast topics.
Same. I was every morning. But I think, like, one idea we had almost 2 years ago was, and we just kept up with it, was the idea of having episodes for modules and introducing the different modules and their concerning topics, as well as some or all of the lecturers that teach in those modules, or like the supervisor of it, right?
Sure.
So you are somewhat familiar with some of them, like BM1, I think, and
Absolutely.
PM4.
Yeah, I do BM1, I do PM 3 and 4. These are from the old FSBs, the 2017 FSBs and the 2022 FSBs. It's Basis 1, as well as
2?
Profile 2, which is Histories Now. But I'm trying to think, is it Profile 3 that's Advanced British and American Studies? We can double check.
I think it's PM1 module now, the Histories module, the hotel and American literature and so on.
I still think that's Profile 2. But that's the wonders of the internet. We can go and check it out and not spread
Now I
falsified
want to make
information.
a bet.
So if anyone is wondering, we have one of the main supervisors and the academic advisor sitting here, as well as a 5-year in a row tutor for the SD target, not knowing which modules these
Well,
are.
see, that's the problem. When we change the FSBs, things get switched
I
around.
swear to God, if it's going to be PM1, I'm going to scream. No.
So, when we take a look at the list, Basis 1 is Language, Basis 2, Intro to Literary and Cultural Studies, Basis 3, Intro to Linguistics, Profile 2, Histories.
Fuck
I
me.
knew that one. I knew that one.
Bleep that. We've got, if you're in the
Kate, that's your job.
We've got
Bleep
Praxisstudien
yourself.
Module, Bachelor, and then we've got the others. So yeah, Profile Module 3 is actually Advanced Linguistics. I was wrong. Profile 4 is Advanced British and American Studies. And then we've got the Anglophone Cultures in Profile 5, Media Communication and Creative Practices in 6, and Literary Studies, Cultural Studies, and Linguistics in Educational Context in Profile 7. And Profile 1, which you won't find under the Fachwissenschaft that I'm looking at right now, is going to be English Language Teaching.
Oh. Damn.
Which remains in Profile 1 position. So yeah, English language teaching, depending on the school, secondary or primary school. So yeah, see, even I, who deals with this stuff every day, more or less, I still don't have both systems simultaneously inside my head perfectly. It's just, that's what the websites are for. And I'm happy to use those until it does, at some point, hopefully, get ingrained in my head.
I mean, I usually have to talk about the new version for the Einführungstag, and now I'm in a position where I can say, in my time, it was all different. I'm at the age where it's at my time.
Uh-huh.
How does it feel to be old, guys?
I don't know, you'd have to ask Liam, honestly.
He has a longer beard, therefore he's older.
Exactly. And I'm talking about young at heart. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm 80.
So yeah, okay, that's one of the ideas. Talk about the modules. Module supervisors would be some guests that we can have on to discuss that in more detail. So that's one of the thoughts that we have for Anglisten Assembles going forward.
That one actually sprung a new idea as well, which was the idea of introducing the lectures we have in our department with like short episodes. So like 5 to 10 minute episodes of like getting a lecture and asking a couple of questions. And so that new students that start studying and that maybe haven't gotten the pleasure of knowing short lectures yet, can listen to the episode and get introduced to them before maybe having their first session, maybe lose some of the anxieties of like, I don't know who this is. Are they nice? Are they evil? Do they bite? What do they like?
So they'll be able to feel the evil permeate through
Yes.
the interview, is what you're saying.
I mean, for your episode.
Absolutely. For mine, no question. And for everyone else, it'll be the nice stuff. All right, so we've got different lectures we can meet in. Like, we can make that a game, like 20 questions, like just a quick ping pong Q&A,
Yeah.
something like that. Something fast, something.
What's your
Very-
password?
yes.
What's your social security card number?
That's right. Favorite credit card, name of
Mother's
first
maiden
house
name.
pet,
Your IBAN and preferably also the PIN.
for example. So yeah, we can make that a fun game, I think.
What is your
Do
matriculation
you want to start, Brian?
Absolutely.
Do you want me to give your wallet?
Why don't we just take this opportunity to do a test run of one of these interviews? Kate, if you want to go ahead and ask a question, I'll happily play the lecturer here.
Okay. Your favorite student, me or Leon?
My lawyer has advised me to plead the Fifth Amendment rights of not.
You're
You
not
don't
from
have that
America.
here. You don't have that here.
I'm an American. I still have those rights.
No, it's okay. You don't have this right. Not in this room.
I plead the Fifth Amendment.
Okay.
What is your
I think we should call for the hard guns. The KGB.
Mm-hmm.
The KGB doesn't wait for you to answer. We just interrogate you until you give us all the answers.
I think we're gonna leave like the bamboo things that we can hammer under people's fingernails at home for these interviews. I just feel like that might be going a step over our
Do you think
boundaries.
so?
Just a step.
I feel like bamboo is not it's not a perfect.
It's a
thing.
natural substance, you know.
Yeah, but nails, good. Hot nails, very good. No, it's okay. I shall not do this stuff. Not now.
Fair enough. We'll try to avoid the KGB interrogation tactics
Yes, definitely. Okay, another question.
So what, up to this point, has been your favorite class that you ever taught?
here. Oh, that's actually a really fun question. I think I've got several courses that I've really enjoyed the content of, but there's a certain chemistry atmosphere, I'm not sure what it is, that comes together in certain classes where you've got people who are just as engaged with the material as you are and enjoy it, or for certain planned events hate it as much as I hope they will, or at least be surprised. So I taught a Native American, it was a mix of literature, and we did some stand-up comedy for a session. We did some poetry, film, spoken word stuff. And that was all kind of mixed together, and it was just a really fun course because we got to see some really out there books, like books that are just way off. I guess the beaten path would be the easiest way to say it. Bear Heart is the book I'm thinking of, and I think for the students that were in that class, they will have flashbacks now that I've mentioned the name of the book. It's
Positive ones or negative ones?
quite negative. It's a very
Okay.
surreal kind of novel and pretty harsh.
So was this class before or after you did your AAVE class that I was part of? Because I remember having that and it was super interesting, but that one sounds more in depth. So was this afterwards? Like,
I mean, I still teach different AAV classes. I'm doing
Oh, okay.
African American Vernacular English, Language and Music and Power in this semester. So we're going to be listening to a lot of music. So we're going to go through the genres from gospel to hip hop, basically, to trap, if you so will.
for all those students that didn't have the pleasure of having the Corona COVID classes online, Brian's classes were extra fun because every time you joined the Zoom room, he had music playing before the session started. So
Oh, yeah,
5 to
true.
10 minutes before you could just join the Zoom room, and he had like different songs playing that all the time were like related to the class, especially with this class. So it was great. You had like your own radio like session beforehand, and it got you into the mood of the topic.
I think it also got me into the mood for podcasting because it was really a fun time because I would see it as, okay, I'm going to get in there 15 minutes early and I'm going to DJ. And then after everyone's arrived, whoever's going to show up for that Zoom session, then we could get down to business. But it was a lot of fun just to think about what songs do I want to play before class. I enjoyed that. I mean, Corona was challenging, but it also, there's opportunity in crisis. And I feel like I used that opportunity to entertain myself, if nothing else. I don't know how much everyone else has been entertained.
I have another question. So I saw you teaching a lot of Basis Module 1 classes and not so many advanced classes. Do you feel like you would like to teach more advanced classes rather than the Basis module?
I think I get to teach enough. First of all, you have to understand that the advanced classes are a lot of prep work, especially if you do it diligently, I guess. And the topics get to be more complex, more interesting, and you don't have to focus on, I don't know, comma splices or something like this. But I also try to bring in a lot to each of the Basis 1 courses that, at least for me, is different from semester to semester. So it'll be topics that are, somehow related to whatever it is we're talking about, but what the actual pinpointed, precise topic is that somebody writes about or presents about, talks about, that's going to be different from semester to semester. So I always get to learn things in those courses, and they're always a little different every semester for me too. So actually, I don't see there's a huge difference. I do enjoy the advanced level courses. I'm doing a master's course this semester on language variation in New York City over time. So that's in the Masters of Arts program. And that's an interesting course as well, but it's very, very unique to time, place, topic. Whereas the Basis 1, you have to be more general with your topics and allow people the freedom to choose the different kinds of things that they want to research and talk about. It's not to say that somebody in a Basis 1 course couldn't come with a presentation topic and say like, hey, I want to talk about language variation in New York. I just don't expect it.
Yeah, still.
And then we're going to be spending 30 hours on that rather than, just the 1 hour or whatever of the person's presentation. So it's a little more digging into detail.
Well, for me, remembering ages ago when I had my BM1 classes, my introductory classes, I think you, as a student, you realize and you feel that if a lecturer has to do this class every semester and they don't update their stuff and they do the same presentation, the same things every semester, no matter like what the presentations the students are holding, you feel that. Like you feel that there's like less drive behind it. But with someone that like changes it every semester, that like tries to keep this updated, that's awesome because you feel like there is something behind this. Like what I do has impact. I'm not saying there's a lecture where that is not the case. Just saying that.
Certainly not in our faculty.
No, but as a student, you like in our faculty, no. But we study more than just Anglistic. But feeling that as a student, your input has influence on the presentations, on the sessions, does a lot.
Well, I think the decision-making process is for any kind of research. That's already a part of the research process. If you're teaching a course, for example, writing and research, I can't do the research for you. Like I have to give you, okay, here are your parameters. Now you have to figure out the topic, which, by the way, is the first and probably most important step of the research process overall. I can't just spoon feed you everything.
No.
Not if you intend to somehow be able to do these things on your own someday.
No.
I'm not going to helicopter parent my students.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
All right, so those are some ideas that we've got. Any other ideas that...
I mean, we had presenting English drama group.
Okay. Kate, why don't you tell us your relationship to the English drama group here as you're saying that that's an interesting topic for a podcast.
I started doing the English drama group. Well, let me present you the English drama group first. It's a student-led theater group at our university. We do performances once in a semester, and we do them in English. So all the rehearsals, all the preparations, and the performances, they happen in English, which is actually a good thing to do if you want to do your internationalization at home. yeah, but we are too many, so do not come. No, it's okay. You still can come.
Do not join us. We don't need you.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
I'm
we
sure
are like
young
almost-
blood is always going to be appreciated at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, definitely no, because we have people coming and going, but for a couple of semesters now we have a very set amount of people that are always coming back. I've been there since 2000, I think 19. It was my first performance in February. It was amazing because it was a self-written thing, and our director, Elisabeth Ebert, she is amazing. I'm telling that even without her being in the room, so that's the
So it
truth.
must mean something.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, so what we usually do is performances. We perform in H7, which is quite big for a performance room of an amateur theater group. And on good days, we have actually the H7 full, so it's also nice.
I remember the last thing I went to, H7 was really, really full.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of fun.
And we're going there soon again, right? To one of the
Yeah.
performances.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there soon for the Satyricon, which is EDG Plus, so English Drama Group Plus.
Which
Did
is-
they have a streaming service now, or what's going on?
No, it means basically that the director, for example, it's not Elizabeth directly, but rather someone else from the group. So it's
Okay.
a kind of spin-off project, which means that under the name of English Drama Group Plus can happen a lot of other things. For example, what I'm planning right now is to stream different plays through the entire semester to kind of offer things from the English drama group to the students and stay relevant, not just coming with a performance at the end of the semester, but rather offering something through the entire semester.
So it is a streaming service. You're right.
No, not really. I mean, it's a lot of things. It's a streaming service, at least what I'm planning to do. But for the Satyricon, it's an actual play that people were rehearsing and working on it.
And can now be seen this
Yeah,
weekend, which is April. Help me out.
13.
You should mention the year as well in case this episode takes.
Yeah, I mean, all of these things, like anything, it's going to be dated at some point. It's 2024 last time I checked. But that's April 13th, 2024, which is going to be their first performance
it's
this
gonna
coming
be-
Friday
Yep.
from the time we're recording.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 3 other performances of this as well?
Exactly, on Saturday, so the next day, and then the week after that, Saturday and Sunday, which is, I think, something 20 and 21st. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'll have to check.
Yeah. So flyers are out and about there, folks. If you're interested, take a look. Check it out. I figure we might run this particular podcast that we're recording right now on a loop in the what's it called? Mix and mingle room. That way
Good.
people can hear it.
I thought you meant the university-wide speakers just on a loop
Yeah,
all
there we
day.
go. This is a message from the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. All right. Cool. So there are some ideas floating out there. Also, we want to involve our podcast listeners, all one of you. And
true.
so if you personally, as our one podcast listener, would like to send us an idea, a thought, a topic on things that we could be recording, things that we could be talking about on this podcast, by all means, give us an email. I've set up an email address, I think it was about 2.5 years ago, and for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the email address right now.
Wait, didn't we send up the mail when we started this?
Yeah, exactly, and that was 2.5, maybe 3 years.
It's fine. We might get an Instagram account at some point, so you might contact us via Instagram account.
These
I'm on it.
newfangled social medias like
Yeah.
the Snapchats and the TikToks.
Oh
and
no, the Snapchat, so we can get.
I'm too old for Twitter and Facebook. I have no idea how this works.
There is no Twitter anymore.
Oh, sorry, X.
Yeah.
Sure. At any rate, you can get a hold of. I mean, you can Google me and just send me a personal email, of course.
And before Brian's mail gets flooded by just podcast recommendations. Hey, Brian.
I was going to say we set up the email address for Anglisten Assemble 3 years ago, and I received exactly one email. So
And it was a copyright strike.
it was exactly our one listener who sends us in an idea. So yeah, for our one listener out there, by all means, send us any ideas that you might have. Otherwise, folks, we're coming up on a half hour here, which to me sounds like probably a good first step back into this podcast, getting back on the saddle, as it were.
Yay.
Yeah, sounds about right. We can see how much Kate can salvage out of that half an hour.
Yeah,
so this might be like
fine.
2 or 3 minutes.
It would be nice if I say it's a half hour and it's actually like 10 minutes long. That would
As
be
long
wonderful.
as I don't curse, we don't have to cut
Too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I always love this when you hear someone say like, "Oh, I recorded for 4 hours," and you look at the video, it's like 15 minutes, and you know the editor had like a field day on this, and like, yes, this is high quality because so much had to be cut.
The cream of the crop.
Exactly.
Indeed. So, okay, folks, thank you for coming back and tuning into yet another long-awaited Anglisten Assemble. You guys stay frosty out there. And Leon, Kate, thank you very much for sitting in here with me and doing this.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having us.
All right,
For
folks.
me.
I feel like he's stealing my phrases.
Uh-oh.
Is it? Yeah.
No.
What phrase did I steal before I
No,
hit
Thanks
the
for having
stop
us.
button?
The most normal reply
Yeah.
ever.
Always a pleasure. That's a thing that I
You
usually
guys don't
do.
have to work with Leon and Kate. It's a nightmare. Talk to you later.
Give you a try. If you do well, you can go a long way. But if you fail,
The producers pledge that they will produce
you
only
can go a long way
recordings
too.
which will contribute to your musical enjoyment and successfully meet your high-quality standards.
This episode of Anglisten Assemble was privately produced as a joint, non-profit, informational project of students and staff of Bielefeld University. All views and opinions expressed on the show in no way reflect the official views of the university and are solely the perspectives of our hosts and guests. Information provided is true to the best of our knowledge at the time of production, but is naturally subject to change as some details are time sensitive. Anglisten Assemble was produced and edited by Brian Rosema, Kate Lee, and Leon Daleshow for the private use of our quality audience. Musical accompaniment was fished out of the FMA Free Music Archives and includes the musical stylings of Pablo Ribat and Checky Brown. To listen to and support these artists, you can go to freemusicarchive.org and check out their fine tracks, and many others. And finally, we'd like to thank our special guest today, the conscientious Ms. Kate Lee.